Hey guys, welcome to more live CALLOUS Invitational 4 Round 1 action, and this is one of the more exciting sets. It is one of the more talented, accomplished tournament players, KratosMana, who is an unknown quantity, to be frank, in ADV. Oh, they're waiting on me. Just letting them know they can play. His opponent, of course, is Eden's Embrace. Eden, Sunny Oros. He goes by all sorts of things. Same dude, and he has played in all three of the CALLOUS Invitational Tours and has never finished any of them with a negative record, which is quite good and quite consistent. We'll see if he can do that here. This is just round one, so nobody could be eliminated here, but obviously both guys want to start off their tour the right way. So, KratosMana, that's Anti. He's on the bottom. He had a standard tower lead. He went back to a pert. He was scared off by the Flygon, which frankly is a weird lead, I would say, for Eden on the top on the alt Sparkling Dream, especially when he has something that's a very good lead, one of the most common leads in Zapdos. But yeah, I mean, if he's leading Flygon, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he has a reason for doing so. Nobody has actually attacked so far, just a couple of switches. And we've got a Fori and a Lax here, which I would assume he would spike here basically all day. I mean, Fire Blast doesn't even kill, nor do most Laxes carry that. I think it's overly conservative. I think most people would not play around that here. I think it's almost certainly a Spike's turn. The only thing that can go kind of badly is if it is a Curse Lax and it begins cursing up here. That's going to kind of put a clock on Eden, at which point he needs to figure out how to deal with it. He can't let it go too crazy with curses, or it could get out of hand. But yeah, I mean, it would just be an uber conservative play, I would say, to not spike here. I think the overwhelming majority of players would spike. Basically, the only time you wouldn't is if you know that your team is just unbelievably lax weak, and you're shitting your pants right now, and oh fuck, I got to deal with this ASAP or I'm going to get swept. In which case, I would say you probably just shouldn't bring that team, right? But it is what it is. I'm not sure what he's thinking about. Sunny's taking quite a bit of time just on turn 3, which is unusual. I mean, this has been a weird opening sequence, I would say, but I'm surprised he's thinking this much this early on. Wow, taking over a minute to figure out what to do, and he does decide on just the really obvious play of spiking up, so maybe he's genuinely concerned. Maybe his team is genuinely Curse Lax weak. Does that mean that we might see a boom here? Does that mean that he's going to try to deal with this Lax immediately? If he's taking that amount of time on turn 3 to figure out what to do, he might really truly be concerned about this poke. And he's going to go for Earthquake. He does a nice Magneton check there, but the problem with doing that, it's cute on paper. It would have made him look like a genius if it worked. But the problem with doing that is it allows another curse, which is exactly what Anti did. Now he explodes. Had he done that before, that obviously would have prevented the curse. So we're going to find out here, does the extra curse that he got matter? And it very well may. Yeah, I mean, he's going to blow up now on T-Tower, which is very dead at +2, and T-Tower had no chance, pending a crit, to kill him with anything physical there, or special, frankly, for that matter, without a critical hit. So it's going to be a favorable 2-for-1 for Anti. The one thing that Eden does have to show for it is he did get the 1-layer spikes down. Matters, or could potentially matter, certainly. But you've got to think that Anti got the better end of that exchange, getting basically a 2-for-1 with just Lax. So now they both need to figure out what to do. This is where maybe Anti's unfamiliarity with ADV comes into play. Turns like this, these kind of situations might be where he's less sure, less confident on what to do. Ew. Oh, that makes it a lot worse for Eden. It's going to be a Claydol here, which, I mean, there might be a Gengar, but Gengar doesn't exactly beat Doll. Rapid Spin is probably... Ooh. Well, just kidding. Wow, Anti goes straight boom. That's... Ugh. I don't know that I like that play. It worked out. I mean, that's one way to throw the game, right? If Sunny just goes Gengar there, you just boom into thin air. But he just blows up immediately, and he trades 1-for-1 with the Zapdos, so he's content, as opposed to going for the way more obvious Rapid Spin, to simply allow that 1 layer to stay down. He's obviously not overly concerned about it. He gets a trade. He's got to have a pretty decent investment, I would say, to get the 1-hit KO on the Zapdos here. And it's clearly an offensive team for Anti. Looking at an end pert here, that doll may have been EV'd aggressively, whether it's speed or attack or both. And now we are looking at a 4-3 situation favoring Ante, who hasn't shown his two last pokes either. Full team now revealed for Sunny as he goes to Jirachi here, but he doubles back to Milo, baiting out a Hydro Pump. That was good, and he got the miss, so that was a nice turn for Eden. He's just trying to dance around here and deal with what is clearly an Endeavor pert. And it is going to be an Endeavor from 63%. That's going to do 45% to Jirachi, bringing it to 60 after lefties. See if Mana knows how to maneuver with this poke in this situation. And Sunny, on the other hand, is trying to wish/recover stall to deal with this Swampert, who maybe isn't quite low enough to be devastating with his Endeavors. He also has not, of course, had his Salic Berry that he almost certainly has in the back. He has not eaten that yet. But yeah, I mean, given how offensive the team is for Ante, you would think that the last two pokes are, I mean, aggressive in nature in some way. I don't know exactly what they could be. It could be Metagross, Salamence, Zapdos, Aerodactyl, something along those lines. I would say that probably physically based. I mean, it could be special, like I said. It could be Zapdos, but probably physically based and probably hard-hitting. Looks to me like an unconventional, slightly modified offensive build here. I don't know that I would push the issue here if I'm Ante. He's going to get stalled out, it looks like, by the Jirachi and the Milotic without too much issue. And as frustrating as it is to switch out from behind a substitute, it's one of the worst feelings in the world. I think that probably is the best play here. He can't break through this Rachi and Milo. It sucks because he's, like I said, I mean, he's got that sub up. Why does he have to give it up for basically nothing? I mean, he can at least keep fishing for Ice Beam freezes while why not? While he's behind the sub, and if he doesn't get one, if the sub gets broken, he can switch out at that point. But there we go. Now he does find an Ice Beam freeze. Still not the be-all, end-all. It really depends here. He only has so many Hydro Pumps left. A critical hit certainly makes this a lot easier for him. So Sunny is now frozen and low. He's good to go for Ice Beam, and there is no Freeze Clause in Gen 3, so it is theoretically possible that he gets another Freeze here, but he does not find it on Milotic on the switch. Now Milotic is going to try to stall out Swampert. Swampert here with 4 Hydro Pumps left and 5 Endeavors. Plenty of Ice Beams, plenty of subs, but sub has not been a factor here. This has been Eden attempting to stall it out. And of course, he does not want to bring this lead Flygon into either of a Hydro Pump or an Ice Beam. Even an Endeavor wouldn't be great, but Hydro Pump or Ice Beam would both really hurt. Ice Beam would kill it. Hydro Pump would do a ton. And, I mean, Endeavor's like best case scenario. Still wouldn't feel great. So now here's KratosMana fishing again for a second freeze. He finds a second crit, but that doesn't matter. And Milo not going to waste the recovers, and certainly not going to pop the sub either. Just going to intentionally waste a turn via Toxic. Going to do it again here. He's trying to stall out this Swampert and not get frozen again. And finally, here's the switch. Does he go for Toxic again? No. Ante makes the right read. He gets Tyranitar in on the recover turn. Switching that in on Toxic would have been a lot worse, but Ante picks his spot correctly. Good timing for him. Now Tyranitar, who has shown us nothing other than the fact that he doesn't have lefties that we see just now, makes his reappearance, goes Rock Slide. That's clearly not Choice Banded based on that damage, and despite the flinch chance and the imperfect accuracy, the Toxic does connect on the Tyranitar. Rachi comes in, previously unrevealed for Ante. There's Toxic blanking on that. Good idea for Eden, thinking there'd be another switch. He's right, but he does not find something that cares about Toxic. Does Rachi also not have leftovers? That's got to raise a red flag for me. It's not Choice Banded because he has Calm Mind, and he doesn't have leftovers. Ooh, that would make me nervous if I'm Eden. I would be wondering for sure what the hell that Jirachi could be holding. And here's Gligar for Ante. What is this? Wow, a non-spikes, non-Cacturn build with Gligar. How creative is this? Ante must be building his own stuff. There's no way he got this team from Tama. which is the obvious inclination, right, with them both being Brazilian, but there is absolutely no way that Tamo would have passed him this, and once again, we just saw this. I'm having deja vu from the match I casted earlier today. Sandvale BS kicking in at a crucial time. Swords dancing up behind the sub, Surf missing because of course it does, and now all of a sudden, this non-spikes, non-cacturn team featuring Gligar is looking pretty good. Gligar is pretty damn dangerous now. There's a second dance. Surf does connect. I don't know this calc, but that is a very boosted Gligar. If it is able to kill my Milotic, this game is basically over. Flygon would get whomped, and then, I mean, Jirachi's basically dead anyway, but even if it were at full health, it would easily be one-hit KO'd by a Gligar that is this boosted, just clicking Earthquake. The other thing that we haven't even talked about here is that Gligar can just go for a couple more substitutes and fish for more Surf misses. Why not? Doesn't have anything to lose by doing that. Sunny can't recover because if he recovers on a substitute turn, he just dies to double hidden power. And that is exactly what I'm talking about. There's the sub, there's the Surf miss, and he is in trouble. There's the Earthquake knockout. This game looks donezo. And Eden, seemingly not steamy as he sometimes has been in the past, just says GG, man, which seems like a calm response, but that was brutal. Sandvale, which half the players in this tour wanted to ban, is going to kick in again. This is the second time in the first round in which Sandvale plays a major role in the outcome of the game. We saw it earlier in ABR against Shortage. I won't spoil what exactly happened. You'll have to go back and watch that if you haven't already, but Sandvale absolutely mattered in that game. And here again, I mean, this is unconventional, too. This is like best case scenario. This is with no spikes down. This is not with double veil abuse. This is just playing straight up Gligar. This is Gligar without Magneton even. So this is a very creative and unconventional off-meta team for KratosMana. And he is going to get there with the aid of some Sandvale BS with his Gligar. Will this be a continuing trend of this tour? I cannot wait to see what Anti brings out for Game 2. That'll be, of course, in the next video. I will see you guys there.